Yo guys, I'm Truzuo, and today we're reacting to more Let's Game It Out in his Satisfactory series. We're seeing what other abominations he ends up creating. Last time, he built a whole train network under the map, basically went through the soft death barrier, and finally found the bottom of the world where it ended up killing him. Now he's working on nuclear power, and he has another idea with the trains, so it's going to be a good episode. I guarantee it. Go show love to Josh. Link will be down in the description of the video. Go check it out. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it.
Hey there, it's Josh. Welcome back to Let's Game It Out.
Hey, Josh.
Oh my God, it's time for more Satisfactory. Oh,
Let's
how
go.
I missed you, Factory with no rules, limits, or logic. Satisfactory is a game about making efficient machines. Or in my case, just find new and inventive ways to torture the game. First, we built a factory that was actually kind of normal, until I realized you could make it look like this. And then I made it look like this, and I realized the frame rate gets worse, which excites me. And then we tested those limits by building a tornado.
Still crazy, man. That thing is so bad.
Pretty. Just don't look directly at it, unless you like slideshows. And then I saw this empty valley, and
PowerPoint.
I thought, you know what this could use? A conveyor belt weave. Not to be outbeaten, we went back over to Beltnado here and turned it into a full-fledged cocoon. After that, we moved on to other interests, like messing with these trucks here, only to realize that if you throw them all in a pit like this, they become sentient and try to escape. And I thought we might be done. And then those crazy
lags your entire game.
just kept updating the game, so I kept trying out their new stuff, like this beautiful train station. You can even custom name. And boy, did I custom name it. That's when I realized we could send them through the earth and straight to hell. And then at the tail end of the last episode, we realized one last thing left to do.
What will you do, Josh?
Oh, and also, today's video is sponsored by NordVPN, but I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. Oh, and before we head to our first destination, check this out. The game actually runs better now, and this blows my mind. My God, the performance increase is amazing.
That's actually smooth. WDevs. That thing was so bad. Like, when he first created that, if he even looked, even turned around in that direction, the whole game would freeze. Like, nothing would be moving. So WDevs. It looks pretty smooth too. I wouldn't say it's 60 FPS, but it's definitely better.
Thing doesn't destroy my computer anymore.
Maybe like 30, maybe.
I can bask in its majesty.
Maybe it is 60.
Brave new world. So what are we gonna do today? Play around with nuclear power, of course. We built this guy at the end of last episode, and our first step to nuclear
is hovering over its death.
Go mine some uranium and shove it into this thing. Last episode, we used our little locator guide here to find uranium, which was a little ways away. But the bigger hurdle is this stuff will kill you if you get too close to it, and that's why we brought this lovely thing, a hazmat suit. Strap it on, makes you look super cool. Now we're ready to go face the elements. You know what? Let's do it with style in our beautiful, sexy car. Now I feel like I took a wrong turn somewhere, but I'm gonna have faith that this is the right.
He showed like a small cave he broke into with dynamite. Are there just caves around the world? Let me know in the comment section if there's just caves like this. Like, he hasn't explored it all. I mean, he's too busy building abominations, but is there like whole like tunnels, like kind of like Minecraft? I compare it because it's like the most similar thing I've played it with, like in terms of like modded, in terms of like stuff you can do. There's like giant cave systems like this, or is it like procedurally generated or like put there by the devs in the first place, or does it change like per like map you create? Let me know.
Right way. Well,
looks cool though.
Green. I feel like that's sort of a good sign. I think we're going to the right place. Yep, we definitely are. I see a little bit
interesting. So it's like in the cave where you find uranium.
These are supposed to be spiders in the game, but for everyone's benefit, I turned on the arachnophobia mode, which turns them into these creepy cat heads, which I think we can all agree is a little worse than just spiders. Anyway, we'll just take care of them in short order.
I wonder what they look like normally.
Want some too, do you? Let's get this nightmare over with.
A giant cat head.
Putting down our beautiful mining drill. That's what. Never has anything in a cave looked so majestic. So right now this thing doesn't have any power, which honestly is for the better, because if this thing is pulling out uranium while we have it set up, we're just going to be taking on lots of radiation. Oh, did I mention to find this I had to go through a waterfall? It's true. I wandered around for like an hour before I figured out it's back here. Okay, the conveyor belt behind the secret waterfall. We're gonna stage our uranium over here. You may recognize this little place over here.
Yeah, the giant ball pit.
This is where I had all
so he didn't end up tearing it all down.
Turned into a sentient
he just removed all the tractors.
Put them down, otherwise the game would never run again. So we're gonna stage everything here because we can't just send the uranium over raw. We gotta make two things first: uranium cells and electromagnetic control rods. Uranium cells are the uranium itself as well as concrete, and the electromagnetic rods are stators and AI limiters. Easy enough. Let's make a couple assemblers. We'll just place one here and also just kind of over there. We're also gonna send our uranium into this guy over here, which by the way, we haven't connected the power to that thing yet, so let's do that now. Okay, here we go. So now that we've connected the power. All we have to do is wait for the drill to do its thing and bring the uranium to us. And there it is. For the record, it took about 4 minutes, and it still hurts.
It's actually pretty fast.
Right? Oh boy, does it ever. It's kind of a shame. It's so pretty to look at. It's like a bunch of Slimers just on a conveyor belt. So this guy over here is going to be for our uranium cells. The uranium we obviously have. And
This
right in front of us,
max level radiation.
Okay, and there's the concrete. As I slowly died of radiation poisoning. Now this thing's doing the magic of making uranium cells.
Is this like
and for
safer?
control rods,
I wouldn't imagine. It's a uranium rod.
AI limiters for days. And
oh,
these are the stators. Thankfully, I have pretty much all of these materials.
Looks like it's a little less.
In my base.
Maybe because he's not close to it.
Find them and route them over here. Now that those two things are underway, we have to turn to our old friend, the manufacturer, which we're going to build down here for kind of no reason. And in this thing, we're going to build nuclear fuel rods, which is what can finally go inside the nuclear reactors. My favorite part about this, very radioactive. That's what I like to hear. First, we'll send these uranium cells down there. Okay, that's 1 down and 2 down. So that connects our 2 nuclear things. To finish off the trifecta, we just need to get ourselves some of these encased industrial beams, which I just happen to know where there's a lot of them. It's like all the stuff I built previously was all building up to this. Also known as, thank God my production is so imbalanced, I just have extra random crap everywhere. See if we can't work quickly here. I seem to be taking on a not insignificant amount of radiation poisoning. And there we go. And we'll just send these beauties right over there. And since I've already got my medical inhaler out, this calls for a celebration puff. Now that I've taken on 10 generations worth of radiation sickness, I'm just gonna stare off into space for a bit and let my empire just grow. Okay, I think we're in pretty good shape now.
Oh my god.
So many
this dude. Oh, we'll just take a break. Comes back with a full thing of highly reactive radio cells. Jesus, Josh.
Beautiful fuel rods. Now comes the fun part, where I route fuel rods all over the map and wonder if I'm gonna melt my face off. Almost there. Finally, after all that, the fuel rods are in the
that many per one plant?
Looks to be working, and boy is it a thing of beauty. Now the only thing left to do is hook it up to power. I thought that'd be more exciting. Ooh, but that smoke is. My god, look at that jump.
That's a lot of power.
For power was 4,400, and then we brought the power plant online, and now it's 6,900. That is quite the leap. So here's the other thing that happens with nuclear power. We get delicious, beautiful waste.
Oh no.
Extremely radioactive. And what are we gonna do with that nuclear waste? Well, build a bunch of conveyor belts that zigzag through this waterfall, of course. And I'm using the slow conveyor belts because I want all that radiation goodness to get all in the water supply. And then once its slow journey is complete, all that tasty waste goes into this bin for future generations to worry about.
Oh
okay,
god.
First nuclear power plant done. And while I'm satisfied we could get that first one off the ground, I feel like there's so much more we could be doing. This gives me an idea. I can't help but think being
him saying he has an idea when he's looking at this is gonna be terrible. This is gonna be crazy.
able to look at the cocoon again is a blessing in disguise. So for the first time in a long time, we're going back in. It's been so long since I was.
What is he gonna do?
This thing. Here we are in the belly of the beast. He's of course being.
Don't tell me he's gonna turn this into like a nuclear plant.
Go back and change all of these Mark 1 conveyor belts to Mark 5. But even
if you do that, yeah, if he's about to say he's not doing that, that's crazy. That's ridiculous. If you did that, you have to rebuild the whole thing. Absolutely no shot.
Hurt imagining how long that would take. We're now here at the halfway point. You can tell because the iron rods stop and the oil begins. So I don't actually think there's an opening. I think I have to make one to get out. Nope, wait, found my opening. I'll just fly my way up there. Hopefully I don't run out of fuel for my jetpack. It's a long way down. And here we are at the very top. I know I've said it a couple of times, but I cannot stress how bizarre it is to be able to look at this thing and the frame rate maintains. Look at the dumpster that is my factory setup. God. Like at this point, even I can't tell.
Dude, this is like Candyland, like on steroids. Look at this. How do you even know where everything's at? You got storage containers, assemblers, miners, like all this stuff. Absolutely crazy. Like just random things in the air.
What goes where. So I keep forgetting that there's like stairs and walkways, and it would be really useful.
That's so cool. You can build like an actual factory. Who would have thought, Josh? Who would have thought? I would do something like that. I would do something like actually like cool and like build a whole factory. But Josh has other plans.
Because we do need to find a way to get up there fast. But no one likes taking stairs, so I found a better way to get up there. It's called a bunch of bounce pads all over the place. Here, let me show you what I mean. It starts with this bounce pad right over here. So we just jump on this conveyor belt, which will launch us in at the right angle.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
It'll take us over to this bad boy, and it'll just start bouncing us all the way up to the top. And the nice thing is it's all set up so I don't have to do anything. And I can just bask and look at our factories, really just enjoy the ride. Oh, shit. not even moving anything. It's just bouncing me for me. So I can
That's
just
nice.
look around at the nice surroundings. Really
It's so
take in
tall that
all
he
the
has to have a
beautiful
whole way to
scenery.
get up there.
Are you f***ing serious? Or I can just hold on for dear life and hope the whole thing works. Honestly, it works about 10% of the time.
That's
It's
not
the
good.
best. But it gets you close to the top of the cocoon, so beggars can't be choosers. Oh, here we are coming in for a landing. Bounce off this backboard. Here comes the final bounce. I can't think of a better way to get to the top of this
It's actually not that bad.
Okay, so you might be asking yourself, what's the plan? I mean, if you look out there, you can already see our nuclear power plant dumping nuclear waste down below. So here's what we're gonna do. I know this seems like sacrilege, but we're gonna cut the head off of the beast. And I know it seems scary, but
Oh no, what is he gonna do?
Everything. Remember how the top of this thing, because of the red tint, looked kind of like a warhead? Well, now we're really putting that nuclear touch on the top of it.
Jesus,
yeah, okay, that's
Josh.
looking better. It's got that kind of gaudy Vegas quality.
Like a
to
giant
it.
rocket.
So why is my nuclear reactor already showing signs of wear and tear? I haven't even hooked it up yet. And of course, we want it to look classy, right? Like, look at all the crap already floating around this thing. That majestic crown up there deserves the finest.
I'm still amazed it just runs
Let's
smoother.
make sure to loop this stuff through everything so that everything is nicely irradiated.
He's gonna make his whole base
this'll do. B+
have radiation.
at best. So we're gonna take
Oh
these
no.
fuel rods and
How are
we're
you
feed
gonna...
them in
You
through the
take off your
bottom of the
hazmat suit for a
cocoon. That way
jetpack,
the
you're
entire
screwed.
thing can maintain its visual splendor. Okay, there we go. Everything is properly irradiated. Now all we need to do is connect it to the power grid. Thankfully, because of the bounce pads floating in the air over here, there's already a bunch of power lines just ready.
They're just
for me to
floating.
connect
I just
to.
realized
Look at
that.
burst in power right there. Now we got to deal with my favorite thing: nuclear waste. The waste is all going to come out of right here, and as is my custom, we're only going to use the finest, slowest belts we can.
That's
Now,
diabolical.
all we need to do is just run this belt full of byproduct goodness all the way down to the edge of these
Oh,
barrels.
no.
And just to make it a tad more convenient, I'm going to send the nuclear waste down in one of these splitters using the power of conveyor lift technology.
This is the
Thank
most
God these
convenient
things
thing
can
he's
just
done
keep
this
going
whole time with the
lower and lower
cocoon.
and lower. Look at that, you can just
He
have
couldn't
your
be
hand
bothered to
delivered
wrap it
right to the
around.
ground. You know what I think I'm going to do with all this nuclear stuff? I'm just going to add a merger to where these iron rods are coming out. And I'm just
Oh,
going to
no.
mix these in
Oh,
with the
no.
iron rods. Oh yeah, I'm sure this won't
He's
be a
gonna mix everything with nuclear waste. His whole base is gonna be uninhabitable. This is diabolical.
problem at all. Well, there it goes. Join your friends. You know, though, with 2 power plants, I still feel like we're not producing enough nuclear waste.
Oh no, this is just... Josh, what have you done? Not enough. Let's see what it is, guys. Let's see what beautiful thing Josh has created.
Ah, much better.
Okay. Well, if I would say I expected this or didn't expect it, I would be lying because I totally expected this. I predicted this was going to happen, so I'm not really surprised, but this is I just realized this is literally by his cocoon. It's not even by the what? Oh no.
There's like 50 power plants back there, but
50.
this actually poses a new problem. While our power capacity is amazing, our
122,000.
consumption is, conservative at best, and in order for these things to start chewing through those fuel rods, we actually have to get our power consumption up.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
they're just gonna be
sit here
they're
idly,
not
which
gonna
is great
create
if you're
power.
Trying to build an efficient factory. It's not so great if you want your main export to be nuclear waste. And
Ah, he's trying to just produce a max amount of nuclear waste, so it needs something to consume a lot of power. I wonder what he's gonna do to generate that. I mean, I don't know the specifics on any machines that would do that.
we want more of these barrels. And to do that, we're going to turn to our old friend train technology.
That makes sense, but how is he gonna? It's like a stop and go thing. How is he gonna make it use a bunch of? Unless he just makes a bunch of stops, or there's like some automatic system.
And the reason for that is because trains generate electricity, and I
That is cool. Like an electric train. That is interesting. That's a cool mechanic. WDevs again.
can set them to go forever. So test 1. One station here, and another station here. Let's put
Ah,
a
is
train
it
down and do a
like a
quick
loop?
test. As you can see, firing this thing up, it goes around and around and around.
That's not very
generating
fast.
Not nearly as much as I would like, but
Oh,
hey,
that-
it's generating something. Something else interesting we can do is we can connect trains together. And while
Oh,
each
cool.
train in and of itself doesn't take up more power to function like this, they all have to fire up their engines to move. That's a nice little power push for not doing a whole lot, and I'll know this power output matters. If I see barrels piling up here, I know it's working. Now I'm interested to see if we can generate some power faster. Test number 2, in which case we see if adding some rails that go up increases how much power it takes.
The slope
distance, mostly because I don't know how to use train tracks very well. Let's play conductor and see how it goes.
I mean, you went under the map.
Started out, it does take a lot of power. Downhill does a little bit less for the power. Once the train gets moving, it takes up less because it's already got that speed going. So here's my current running theory. Maximum trains combined with maximum train stations means tons of stopping and starting, meaning tons of power generated.
Smart.
I have an idea how we can test
Smartest
this,
thing
but
is
I gotta
done.
build something real fast. So hang on, it'll just take a second.
A brisk. This is light. Usually it's more than 2 hours. More, it's like 4, 6, an eternity. Let's see what he's made. Looked like he was building a platform.
Okay, here's test number whatever.
Jesus. He built a whole nother, like, island. Oh, God.
Whatever this is, I sure hope it goes okay. It's
Help.
essentially one
Help
gigantic
7,
loop that goes
21.
through all of these
He's made, like,
tracks. It's not
20
particularly pretty
stations.
or elegant. Hey, the whole point is just to generate electricity. Okay, now we've added the trains.
Dude, the cocoon was lagging. Now the trains are lagging. Oh, my God.
If you're curious, this is 188 trains.
Of course, 188 trains. Why would I think of this?
All connected together, taking up the entire track.
They're all
start to
just
finish,
breaking.
And it's all automated, so the trains
That's
will just
nice, at
move through
least.
this disaster forever. There are
I mean, this is
23
a smart
total
way to
stations
generate,
that go through
consume
after
power or
I
whatever.
named Halt before looping back around. You know what pains me most about this? It's not that it's actually semi-orderly, although that also pains me. It's how freaking slow everything's going. I didn't realize that would be the thing that drives me nuts. But enough talk. How's it doing for our power? At an idle state, about 6,000, not too bad. When the trains start up again, it hits a nice healthy 12,000. That's still
It's not
a far
bad.
cry from maxing out our potential with 100,000. But before I go nuts and start laying out more track, let's at least see if we're exporting any of the good stuff now. And by that, of course, I mean nuclear waste. Yeah, this'll do. This'll do nicely.
Oh, no.
That's a lot of barrels. I think this is working out quite well.
Jesus.
Normally, the goal would be to try to figure out where to put this stuff so it doesn't do any harm. But why would you want to hide something so majestic? Now, me, I look at my base and I see something that's missing, and I think this has a chance to be a real showpiece. Once again,
How are you just gonna? You're just gonna die if you take off your hazmat suit. Are you just gonna just chug the medical inhaler the whole time?
I'll be back in a hot minute. Well, that's looking just
God, Josh, you've done it. Like, you've done it again. Not only have you created a nuclear like field in front of your base, you've ran it with waste all around your base. That's impressive, I must say.
well. Oh yeah, feels good. This is looking great. So one might look at this and get the impression that I covered the entirety of my base in nuclear waste. And you'd be right. Up to and definitely including the we.
I didn't even think he was gonna touch it. This was like, somewhat far. So he replaced the coal with nuclear waste. I mean, it's running smoother than it was before.
Which, if I do say so myself, is never.
It kind of looks satisfying, though.
This is a waste disposal site, except above ground, and advertising its presence. Oh my god, the radiation is so bad.
That's what I said. He's not gonna be able to wake up. He just insta dies.
If I die and I have to respawn in, I just die instantly.
Is there like different spawn
I've made the
points?
base so hostile, I can't even be here anymore.
There must
also,
be.
The spaghetti of my base is just completely out of control now. But
I mean,
that nuclear waste
are we
looks so
surprised?
vibrant in the moonlight. So I feel like this is how this base was gonna end up. Nuclear waste everywhere, power plants as far as the eyes can see.
It looks nice, though.
Conveyor NATO that turned into a conveyor cocoon now has a warhead aiming up to the heavens. And thank God I can use these bounce pads to just bask in it all while I fly off. Oh, and thank my lucky stars, the frame rate's gotten kind of bad again. I'd like to thank NordVPN.
That's crazy.
For sponsor. So I think that's gonna do it for this episode. Hope you had fun. I know I did. I'm gonna go check and see if I'm growing a third arm from all this radiation.
Jesus.
I'll see you next time.
Thanks, Josh. Well, Josh, once again, without a doubt, proves he is a madman. Man made a whole train system just to make electricity to produce nuclear waste, and then made his whole base encompass all radiation with all the nuclear waste it created, has his whole base encompass in nuclear power plants, and then turned the cocoon into a warhead by placing a nuclear plant on top of it, and then ran more nuclear waste through the thing and built a jump pad system as it was efficient. But at the same time, the devs did optimize the game. He was able to do more, which is kind of crazy. And then at the same time, he's already made it lag after it was running smooth again. So just to show you how much Josh does to make the game absolutely hate itself. But if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, go check out Josh. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.